For 87 years, one family name controlled an entire region of South Carolina. They were prosecutors. They were lawyers. They were power. Locals called it Murdaugh Country. But on June 7, 2021, that dynasty came crashing down in the most horrific way possible, with a 911 call that would expose decades of lies, theft, and murder. This is the story of Alex Murdaugh, a man who had everything, lost everything, and destroyed everyone in his path. Buckle up, because this rabbit hole goes deep. Chapter 1: The Dynasty. To understand how this all fell apart, you need to understand the power the Murdaughs held. Starting in 1920, 3 generations of Murdaugh men, Randolph Murdaugh Sr., Jr., and III, served consecutively as the 14th Circuit Solicitor of South Carolina. That's the chief prosecutor for 5 counties. For nearly a century, if you committed a crime in the Lowcountry, a Murdaugh decided if you went to prison or walked free. But it wasn't just the courtroom. The family law firm, Peters, Murdaugh, Parker, Eltsroth, and Dietrich, became one of the most powerful personal injury firms in the state. They sued corporations, won massive settlements, and made millions. Alex Murdaugh was the 4th generation, respected attorney, married to Maggie, a beloved community figure, 2 sons, Buster, the eldest, and Paul, the youngest. On paper, the perfect Southern family. But behind closed doors, Alex was living a double life. Chapter 2: The First Cracks. Before we get to the murders, we need to talk about the bodies that came before them. July 8, 2015. 19-year-old Stephen Smith is found dead in the middle of Sandy Run Road in Hampton County. Severe blunt force trauma to the head. Authorities ruled it a hit-and-run. But there were major problems with that theory. No skid marks on the road. No vehicle debris. No injuries consistent with being hit by a car. His shoes were still on and tied. His car was found 3 miles away with the gas cap hanging out. Stephen's mother, Sandy Smith, never believed the official story. And here's where it gets dark. The Murdaugh name kept coming up in the investigation. Stephen was openly gay in a conservative small town. He was a classmate of Buster Murdaugh, Alex's eldest son. Rumors swirled that they had a relationship. Witnesses mentioned Buster's name dozens of times during the investigation. But nothing happened. The case went cold. Because in Murdaugh Country, certain names were untouchable. Chapter 3: Gloria Satterfield, the housekeeper. February 2, 2018. Gloria Satterfield, the Murdaugh family's housekeeper for over 20 years, falls down the front steps of the family's hunting estate, Moselle. She suffers severe head trauma and a stroke. 3 weeks later, she dies. Her death certificate says, natural causes, and accidental trip and fall. Here's what's suspicious. No autopsy was performed despite the violent nature of her death. No investigation was conducted. No coroner was notified. Alex Murdaugh arrived at the scene before the EMTs and loudly insisted Gloria said his dogs caused her fall, even though Gloria herself said she had no idea what caused her fall. Alex approached Gloria's sons, Tony and Brian Satterfield, at her funeral. He promised to help them sue him through his homeowner's insurance so they could get money from their mother's death. He even recommended a lawyer, his old college roommate, Corey Fleming. The insurance companies settled for Gloria's sons. They never saw a single dollar. Alex and his lawyer friends stole it all. And this was just one of over 100 financial crimes Alex would eventually be charged with. Chapter 4: The Boat Crash, Mallory Beach. February 24, 2019. This is the incident that would eventually bring the entire house of cards down. 6 teenagers, including Paul Murdaugh, spent the day drinking at a house party and bar hopping in Beaufort. Around 1:15 a.m., they got on Paul's family boat. Paul was drunk. Witnesses said he was belligerent, aggressive, out of control. At 2:20 a.m., the boat slammed into Archer's Creek Bridge at high speed. 19-year-old Mallory Beach was thrown from the boat into the freezing, pitch-black water. Her friends screamed her name, called 911, searched for hours. 8 days later, volunteers found Mallory's body 5 miles downstream. Paul was charged with boating under the influence causing death, 3 felonies. But here's where the Murdaugh power kicked in. Alex Murdaugh immediately began working to protect his son. He controlled the narrative. He used his connections. Mallory's family filed a wrongful death lawsuit against Alex and Paul. And that lawsuit? It was about to pull on a thread that would unravel decades of fraud. Chapter 5: The Murders. June 7, 2021. 10:07 p.m. Alex Murdaugh calls 911, screaming, "My wife and child have been shot badly." At the family's hunting estate in Islandton, South Carolina, police find Maggie Murdaugh, 52, shot 5 times, with a rifle. Paul Murdaugh, 22, shot twice with a shotgun, nearly decapitated. Alex tells police he'd been visiting his sick mother at the time. He found them when he returned. He was distraught, sobbing, covered in their blood. But investigators found something that didn't add up. A Snapchat video on Paul's phone, recorded at 8:44 p.m., just 5 minutes before the murders. In the background, you can hear a voice. Alex's voice. He was at the kennels with Maggie and Paul right before they were killed. When confronted, Alex admitted he lied 3 times. To investigators, to the media, to everyone. Why? Here's the kicker. That same day, June 7, 2021, Alex's law firm confronted him about $792,000 missing from the firm's accounts. The Mallory Beach lawsuit was in discovery, meaning Alex's financials were about to be exposed. Everything he'd stolen for decades, from clients, his firm, vulnerable families, it was all about to come out. Alex killed his wife and son to buy himself time, to create a distraction, to play the grieving victim. Chapter 6. The Unraveling. After the murders, everything started falling apart fast. September 3, 2021, Alex resigns from his law firm after the firm finds he's embezzled millions. September 4, 2021, Alex calls 911 again, claiming he was shot in the head while changing a tire on a rural road. He is hospitalized with a superficial graze wound. September 14, 2021, the truth comes out. Alex hired a hitman, his former client and opioid dealer, Curtis Eddie Smith, to shoot him so Buster could collect a $10 million life insurance payout. The plan? Stage his own murder. The result? Smith chickened out and grazed him. September 15, 2021, authorities reopen investigations into Gloria Satterfield's death, and Stephen Smith's death. July 2022, Alex is indicted for the murders of Maggie and Paul. As investigators dug deeper, they uncovered a decades-long criminal empire. Over $9 million stolen from clients. He stole from Hakeem Pinkney. He stole from Patrolman Thomas Moore. He committed bank fraud, wire fraud, computer crimes. Total, over 100 financial charges. A man from a family of prosecutors became South Carolina's biggest criminal. Chapter 7. The Trial and Verdict. March 2023. Alex Murdaugh's murder trial captivated the nation. Prosecution. Alex killed his family to distract from financial crimes, gain sympathy, and buy time. Defense. Alex was a loving father destroyed by opioid addiction who stole money but would never hurt his family. Key evidence. Snapchat video proving Alex lied about being there. Ballistics matching family guns. Motive. Financial desperation. March 2, 2023. After just 3 hours, the jury finds Alex guilty on all counts. 2 counts of murder. 2 counts of possession of a weapon during a violent crime. Sentence. 2 consecutive life sentences. November 2023. Alex pleads guilty to federal charges: wire fraud, bank fraud, money laundering. Additional sentence: 27 years. Outro. The legacy. Alex Murdaugh now sits in maximum security prison. The 87-year dynasty is destroyed. But it's not over. Stephen Smith's case is still open. Gloria Satterfield's death is still suspicious. Buster lives under the shadow of the Murdaugh name. This story exposed the dark side of American power. Justice bends for decades, until it breaks. The Murdaugh case exposed something dark about power in America. One family, with enough money and connections, committed crimes for decades and got away until they couldn't. Thanks for watching. If you want more deep dives into true crime cases like this, subscribe and hit the bell. Let me know, what case should I cover next?